All right, next up, we're going to have Jason Lessman join us. So Jason is with Boston Market. All right, so I'm going to be a bit redundant here, but I'm staying with my theme, right? So organizational change is continuing to work its way through the pyramid, and now it hits the operational level, okay? So Boston Market was using an assessment prior to People Answers coming in. So tell us about, what was the drive for the change?
Yeah, I mean, all of the ideology is great, but unless it works for the operators, it doesn't make any sense. So we needed to make sure we were looking at a system that was, we looked through the operational lens, not from the HR and recruiting lens, because obviously if we have a system that works for HR or recruiters or whatnot, that's great, but that's really not the end users. We're decentralized just like Riverstone is, and so it's very important that we found a system that focused on what works for operations. So when we looked at People Answers, we saw that there was a pretty strong technology platform that was consistent, that really helped us make sure all of our operators had an easy-to-use tool. Second, we really fell in love with the science or the philosophy of having one assessment. That way I could help our operators make much better decisions. They could assess somebody one time and then not only be able to see whether they'd be a good cashier or a good cook or a good server, but also what's the likelihood of success to go into a management position in the future. So I think that was very impactful. And when we started to look at a system, we said, how can we turn this into something that also works into IDPs, into development plans? So, a lot of operators aren't great at that. So we needed a tool that made it very easy for them to almost articulate and find gaps in individuals' competencies and use those to help grow them.
Right, and that's part of the coaching and development.
Absolutely, that's part of that coaching and development piece that we loved in the People Answers system.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to throw this question out again. As you roll something out to the operational level, what is the challenge of that, right? What is the challenge that you have to face?
Well, in our industry, probably just like a lot of the retail and restaurant groups here, their job isn't to be in the back office. Their job is not to be on their computer. Their job is to make the customers happy, and inspire their teammates out there on the floor. So we needed to make a tool that was so easy for them that it empowered them to make the right decisions very quickly. And I think as we looked at our rollout and the timing of this system and the platform and the user interface, we basically said, I think I was working with Ruthie too on the training side, and we basically said, if they can't learn it in 15 minutes, it's not going to work. And it sounds insane, but in our industry, that's what they needed to do because we have high turnover and they're focused on a million other things. So.
Okay, makes sense. So you definitely made the right choice going with People Answers, right?
We'll see. It's only been a year. No, I'm just kidding. We did. No, we did.
Well, that was deflating.
I'm just kidding. I just want to make Brad sweat.
No, it's okay. Brad is sweating. I can see it from here. It's kind of weird over there. So anyway, so that's good. No, I mean, I think that is the challenge, right? And I love the way you state that I have to look at it through the lens of the end user, right? I'm working in an office and I like all the drop downs and the clicks and all the complex things it could do, but I need to make sure the end user can use it in the field. Otherwise, they don't use it, and they're mad at everybody else for it, right?
Right. I'm geeked out about the reports, but they aren't. So, it's important to make sure the system's on one page, very easy to use, and then I can use the rest of the scalability of the product to really, empower and make better decisions in the back end.
Right. So anything else about People Answers that makes it a good choice for you guys? We talked about, the assessments. You talked about the training. What about Best Fit? I don't think you...
Yeah, that's a good point. Best Fit, I think, was where I really fell in love with the system. Brad worked hard to get me as a client, and I think what really sold me was Best Fit. And that's because, again, using that puzzle piece, we're able to tell as operators, not only are they going to be able to fill a shift, right? Because many times our operators just see, how do I fill a shift? But now we split out all of our crew positions into individual positions, which was new for us. So now they can see, although this 18-year-old or 16-year-old or 20-year-old applied for a cashier job, they may be better suited for a cook or a driver or a shift supervisor, and they might not even know it. So this competency and this map, this roadmap, if you will, helps us put people in the right spots, and then it empowers them to move them across inside of their restaurants and up through the organization, but do it very strategically, and not just because they like them or because they notice them doing well on a shift, but it's looking at the competencies needed for all the different positions and moving them up through it.
Right, makes perfect sense. Yeah, I've got a couple of clients that use Best Fit as well that I still work with, and it's all about trying to get the most out of your candidate pool, right? So whether you have 100 or 1,000, compare them to all the positions that you possibly can to see where they're fit instead of just the one, because maybe they're not a good fit for that one. So that's
Yeah,
great.
I've sent about 20 emails with just the puzzle piece picture about it to all the operators, making sure
That's
they use
good.
it.
Plus, it's an interesting email, puzzle
there
piece.
you
down,
go.
So,
Yes,
no, it's all good. One of the ways that you guys were able to utilize the scalability of People Answers was when you were in the process of trying to hire enough people to serve 22,000 meals a few days after Superstorm Sandy. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that? I know you brought a video and you're going to set that up for us. So.
Yeah, a great partnership with Lowe's. They called us a week before Thanksgiving, which happens to be our busiest time of the year.
Wow.
They called us a week before and said, we want to help out employees and victims of Superstorm Sandy, and we want to give 22,000 meals to people. And that sounds great on the outside, but just think of how many chickens, rolls, corn, mashed potato you got to try to source from all over the country, and then you got to try to package them up, and then you got to try to get them to the right locations. And I called Sharon, our account person, and said, hey, I need to hire a whole bunch of people very quickly, and we scaled it up. We got everything posted. We got everything coming in. We were able to partner with some other agencies too, and what a great adventure for us, because we made a lot of people happy and we're able to serve a lot of people. And I remember, just a quick story, I was on a conference call on Sunday morning at 6 a.m. with a whole bunch of operators, and somebody on the other end of the line, my VP of Ops, said, we've got a chicken thawing problem. We can't thaw them fast enough to get them all out. And I turned to my wife, I said, this is the only time in my life I'm going to be on a conference call where they say we have a chicken thawing problem. But we were able to get it done, and you'll see Governor Christie talking about great partnership.
Right, good, okay, great. Let's see the video.
Well, good morning.
Yes, please do.
I want to thank everybody for coming out to Lowe's this morning. We appreciate the governor joining us and First Lady Mary Pat. We're really honored to have you here with us today. Superstorm Sandy hit just a little over 3 weeks ago. We know that you and your staff have been working around the clock to ease the pain, get things going again, and we're truly honored to have you here with us today. In 35 locations today in the New York and New Jersey market, Lowe's has partnered with Boston Market to give Thanksgiving meals first to our employees in the stores that have worked so hard and have endured the pain, as well as the communities that we do business in. And we're just thankful for the opportunity to help everybody out during this time.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving to all the folks here. And I want to thank Dennis and all the folks from Lowe's, folks from Boston Market, for doing this. This is tremendous. And on behalf of me and Mary Pat, we really appreciate what corporate citizens like Lowe's and Boston Market and so many countless others are doing to help. It's got to be a team effort in this state for us to recover from what we've been hit with over the last 3 weeks. Everybody's got to work together. We know that it's not going to happen overnight. We know we're not going to completely rebuild and recover overnight, but we know we're going to get started. And we've already started.
Yeah. Great video, great effort. We were all excited. It was all over the office, right?
I remember sending it to you guys and saying, look what you helped us do, and I sent that video on, and it was great. We had lots of vendors help us get there.
Yeah, it was great. So thank you. Yep. So I think you've got a few takeaways for us for the crowd today.
Yeah, I think the key for us was the best fit technology, right? Being able to empower our hiring managers to make more strategic decisions,
Right.
not only in one position, but multiple positions. The key for us was making sure that it worked for operators. And so as we were making that decision, we had operators in the room helping us figure out whether it was a tool that was useful or not.
Right.
I learned that the hard way many times before.
It's good.
And I think it helped even empower some of those younger candidates that have never had a job before, help put them in right positions, because it's a competency-based program that they may not even know that they're inherently good at something. It allows us to match them up, and then obviously it helps us find good employees for future growth and development, which is going to make us stronger and better as a company. And I think the more we utilize it, the better we are, and the better we're going to be able to service our guests.
It's great. That's great. Great story. Thanks for spending some time with us today, kind of telling us how Boston Market met the operational need. Great story, great learnings, great takeaways.